Good morning, everybody. I don't know why I said 11 p.m. I changed it 3 times and it kept going back. So I'm just going live at the normal time like I'm supposed to. If I have to, I'll beat it after. Well, what's up, everybody? There really isn't a lot going on. They released their statement. They can't do anything till he's arrested or until the commissioner does the exempt contract thing. So we're kind of at a standstill. So I'm going to go over some sleeper picks in the draft, possibly, late round guys, possible UDFA. What we can do with the roster right now, which isn't a lot, really. So let's try to have a little fun with it.
Charles here locally in the community. Make sure y'all go check out Meat Fat Bodies by Jeremy Smokkin.
Well, guys, good morning to Henry Gray, Dwayne Keene, Paul Jones, Andrew Merkinger, and Fred Peterson. It's another great day to be a Lions fan. That pretty much is the sentiment across the board. We have to look at this at another way, too. We talked about the people's lives that it affects. We talked about the families. Let's talk about the teammates. What is this going to do to the mentality of the team? A football team is a lot like a frat or a fraternity or a brotherhood. They treat each other like family. They love each other very much. They haze the freshmen, the rookies. It's pretty much like they all live together during the whole season. The wives hang out together while they're doing their practices. They go and have dinners with one another. How are the wives taking it? How are they looking at their husbands now? We haven't looked at that mentality of it. How is Sheila feeling about the whole thing? Because she had to do the blanket cookie cutter public relations statement through Rod Wood, Chris Spielman, or whoever delivered it, or even if she delivered it herself. She has to have an unprofessional opinion about it privately. And we're not even thinking about that side of the aspect. So, as far as the roster is concerned, until Cam Sutton is either written off as exempt or he's arrested, we're pretty much stuck with that 12.3 on the cap. That 10.5 is his guaranteed money. That's what gets paid up front like a bonus at a certain date. Facebook user, hey Jeremy, buddy. Yep. I just like being real with the people. Well, Fred Peterson, he didn't do it yesterday is the problem. He did it when it happened was March 7th, and he's been on the run and disappeared ever since. That could be. But the statement written up by the reporter, it I doubt she strangled herself. That's all I got to say. Oh, Chad Datima. So we're going to be still sitting here at 23 million until Zietler and DPJ's contract comes off. And let me see if it has. I'll check right now because that's good news to know. We know that the salary cap for the rookies came out at 8.6 for where we pick. So that's kind of important. Double checking to see who's added yet. Zietler and Donovan Peoples-Jones have not been added yet. So until they're added, we don't know the exact cap. So it's that 23.3, 8.6 plus theirs. So that's about 16 million. That's going to leave you in that 6.5 to 7.5 million left, approximately. Could be a little more, a little less, depending on how the contract is worded. So he disappeared. He literally has gone missing. They don't even think he's in Florida anymore. They think he's hiding somewhere. This has became a nationwide manhunt. They checked with all of his contacts and family in Florida already. Um, he disappeared on March 7th. He probably went into hiding and waited for that money to hit his account that got paid up front on that particular date, the 15th, and bounced. That kind of money gets you on all kinds of forms of transportation. That's all I got to say. I If he didn't do it, he should have waited there for the authorities. That's what we don't know. That's what we don't know, Fred. That's the only part we don't know. All I know is they said he fled the scene. A witness saw him speeding away from the house. So I do know that. And I heard they had a paternity test that was done earlier in the day at the court system. And that might have something to do with the whole thing. You know what? I don't really want to get into the whole legality stuff. Right. Total loss. It's 12.3 on the books until it's all done. Everybody's focusing on the 10.5. That's not the important part. It's 12.3. That's how much his total salary is for this season and next season. If it's made exempt, that comes off the book. So, but they really can't do anything. They really can't do anything until June 1st with the exemptions because that's when exemptions are handed out. So we're kind of had hands tied. Yeah, probably by boat. I think he fled the country too. Um, so I already know what Chris Smith's contract is. That's 795. He doesn't count against the top 51. The top 51 cutoff is at 985,000. Absolutely. But now our CB 2 or 3 is going to be Amik Robertson. Mosley should come back healthy. Yeah, and think about it. After the draft, when they draft people to replace older people, good players 28 and up get cut again. Yeah, I don't want to guess. I don't want to speculate anymore, Big Dan. It just causes too much controversy. Let's leave it in the authorities' hands. Let them find Cam and get this done. Wasn't Brad visited Kool-Aid yesterday? Their pro day was yesterday, sir. The report came out. Kool-Aid ran a 4.4740 with a still healing Jones fracture in his foot. I just hope he's found safe too. I hope they don't find his car covered. Yeah, it was yesterday. Pro Day standouts. The only thing I heard about was Kool-Aid. That's all anybody's focusing on. They're not talking about anything else. They're not talking about Jared Verse, Um, right now, until he's arrested, they can't cut Sutton. It actually costs us $5 million to cut him right now. Um, he has the $17 million cap, $17.5 million 447. Paul, a 447, a sub 45. I didn't hear anything about Terry and Arnold. I'd have to go look it all up. So until he's arrested and formally charged, they can't cut him, or until they get the exemption from the commissioner, which cannot happen until just before June 1st, because that's when the June 1st cuts after the draft and early camps. Yeah, don't forget they got that wonderful named quarterback coming out, General Booty. Too bad he looked like booty cheeks and had to be sat down. Yeah, there's a few high recruits there. Not as much on the wide receiver end. Their wide receivers are relatively young and can't come out yet. Then there's the from the fun standpoint, UDFA wise and late bloomers that we could pick up this year. Al Blades Jr. He's the 275th prospect. Benny Blades kid. I don't know why he's Al. I think Al is Benny's real first name. And then you got Quantez Stiggers, Storm Duck, Lita Trick Griffin. Yes, the most pimpest name in football. Lita Trick Griffin. Brian Branch reminds me of a combination of two players, actually, the way he plays, because he hits like Delmas, but covers like Benny. That's what I see. But like I said, pimp name. Lita Trick. Delmas brings me back. Yeah, that guy played with reckless abandon even in practice. You remember I remember hearing about at spring training he gave four of our UDFA late round picks concussions in practice. I was like, "Damn, dude, don't you even take it easy in practice?" He goes, "Why? They're gonna get hit like that in football. Why not hit them like that in practice?" And if you actually think about it, he's kind of right. This is what's missing is they do this contactless safety crap. He actually it was more than a stinger. I think that nerve in his elbow got more than a stinger. It was actually he almost severed that nerve and he lost feelings in his hands and he was never the same. So he could never come back. Um, he had to have that surgically repaired, but it was never ever as good with his feeling in his hands. Oh, I can't wait till draft time. For those that weren't able to be on last night, I found out from my publisher he's putting in for credentials for my publication that I write for to be at the draft. And if that happens, that means I might be able to represent more stuff with Lions publicly, where I actually get to be around and be a credited press person. I'm deeply humbled and honored that he wants me to represent the South Florida and Motor City Tribune for him. I I don't know what to say. I mean, it's amazing news for me. Yeah, Delmas fought with Titus Young, the crazy receiver. But how great is that? I might be on Media Row. So, do you know information that you can't speak to us about? Uh, Occasionally. Um, we do get. We are in the media conversation portal with the Lions, so we get emails of stuff that happens at Allen Park every day. And I can't if I can't talk about it, I don't, because that's a privilege that I don't want to break. I give my opinions, and when I say stuff and I'm right 95% of the time, it's because I form an educated guess off of stuff I can't talk about. Does that make sense, Fred? Adam Schefter breaks it all the time because he has moles. I don't want to be that guy. I don't want my source of information cut off. That's what I'm getting at. If I cut off my source of information and where things are leading and stuff like that, Paris Campbell signing with the Eagles, that's not a bad signing. He's a nice third or fourth receiver. Exactly. Absolutely, Fred Peterson. You become a mole one time, all your trust with any organization is gone, whether it's your personal business you work for, one you're in contact with, or one that you just happen to be in this news cycle with. Um, hey, once they are done with Ohio State, absolutely, Paul Jones. That's why I just said I'm in the circle from Allen Park with the media, and that's all I need to say. I just know I'm right more often than not because I read between the lines. I actually read exactly what's said. I don't twist it to form my own narrative. I don't I don't sugarcoat shit. I use the facts to come up with my opinions. And you're absolutely right, one funky Lions fan. Um, and I'm going to say this again in the best way I can. Here's where we're at. This happened on the 7th. The tampering period started on the 11th. The 13th. The 13th was the act at 4 p.m. was the actual first day of free agency, correct? So we've actually had only 1 week of free agency, and look how many moves have happened to see things kind of come to a halt this week. Is that strange to you that now you're seeing a bunch of mid and lower tier players being signed while upper players are not? If Reynolds didn't pass his physical, That means he won't be signing there. And Fred Peterson sugarcoating shit is still just shit. Absolutely. And here's something that, well, it- here's the thing. They can't release a public statement till authorities tell them. Cam Sutton doesn't change the draft. Earl Jackson. Trust me on this. We already filled 3 holes around him. And I don't want to hear from you on this subject because I know things. And if you go too far on it, I'll put it all out there. I like Mikey Sanders still too, and it depends on which big board you look at. On some, you'll see him right around 40, and on the other ones, you don't see him. Yeah, I did. I said filled holes. The Lions have been filling holes for years, except in the past, we did a lot of square pegs and round holes. And in a way, we kind of still do it on the defensive side of the ball, and it bothers me, but I'm not going to get into that right now. I think Gilmore didn't pass his physical because New England doesn't let that shit out. New England doesn't say anything about that. Possibly. Absolutely, Dan. I was also seeing that Aquara retired because he was furious that the team cut for cutting his brother. Um, well, at least we got that United Football League starting on the 30th. I mean, it is what it is. Do we You know what I'm talking about, girl. I ain't gonna go into it. Right, it is something to watch when there's nothing else to watch. And as far as I'm concerned, baseball's only excited from the 7th inning on. Patty Grimes on vacation in Arizona. There, greetings from Arizona. How's everything going, Patty? Is it nice out there, or is it chilly like the rest of America? Because we had a cold snap come through. Hey, I don't care. I'm not getting into it. I don't want to talk about it out here. 80 and sunny. Good for you. You talking about the XFL? Are you guys expecting snowfall? We are on the West Coast tonight and tomorrow. We are tomorrow. It's supposed to start in the middle of the evening sometime. Who's winning the game next year? Michigan still with that elite with that D. Wow. It's hard, then when these memories come back. Respect to those who gamble. I ain't messing with my money. I gamble way too much on my home teas. The only gambling I really do is I do a few prop bets here and there on players, and I bet on the over under for the whole division. Yeah, we got told the same thing, Fred. So yeah, when you say West Coast, I'm thinking Cali. I forgot you're over there near Grand Rapids and Muskegon area, if I remember right. So I got confuzzled for a second. My prayers are with you, Patty. I'm sorry to hear it. I'm staying with a friend out here because I am disabled and I have kidney failure. Oh, I don't talk to David Clark. David Clark is a liar. So, yep. And Hooker changed his number to 2. That means I got to get some black tape to cover up my 12 because I had the black Hooker jersey. I got to cover up the 1. 73 in Vegas for Henry Gray. I'm jelly. That's one of the places I want to go where I've never been, but I'd be in trouble because I like the slots too much. And there's slots everywhere in Vegas. Yep, 2 hookers are cheaper than 12 hookers there, Dave. Dan Leonard. Oh, there he is. Von Doom, the creator, the masterpiece of some new stuff. I'm going to be downloading them and putting them into the show for tomorrow morning for us as background. 14.2 million to be exact. I live in the heart of Columbus, Michigan. Getting Tony Alford is huge. We might have insight on Chip Kelly's offense. Sharon Moore is playing chestnut checkers. Oh, I 100% think Brad Holmes will win the draft. He's probably going to take somebody that we have. Oh, Sundiata Anderson, 6'5", 240 pounds out of Grambling. He had 11 and a half sacks. But you have to remember, he's out of Grambling. One funky Lions fan says New York is one of my favorite places in Vegas. You want to know what the bad part is? My mom has a timeshare in at Tahiti Village in Vegas, and I've never been. Not once. Yes, I did see the players with the last names Dick and Black exchange their jerseys and then take the pictures. The only thing that I'm worried about, fifth or sixth rounder, actually, he's in that late 190 to 220, depending on what board you looked at. And at that point, you really don't matter. As a sixth round pick, we have 2 of them. We have 201 and 204, or 201 and 205, something like that. So you could you could definitely grab him there. Um, Matter of fact, just let me go and look, and I'm going to look at everything past 257. Yep, even at the gas station, Henry Gray said. Let's. I'm just going to grab the random mock that comes up first in my phone, and it's probably the one we always use. I'm going to set it to slow, pause it, and then just go to the back end of the draft. That's the easiest way. I'm going to talk about a few names. I don't want to go to Vegas. I'm happily married, but would get in too much trouble there. My mom lives in Henderson, Nevada. That's awesome. I mean, there's the names we've all heard about: Al Blades Jr., Quantez Stiggers. But there are some guys that actually did go to the combine. Granted, they didn't do much and you didn't hear anything. Uh, Kendall Milton, running back out of Georgia. He has an 8.68 uh, RAS. Yeah, after the draft, it drags. Me going to Vegas would be another rerun of the Hangover. And then I guess the most athletic quarterback is considered there. Yes, Fred Peterson. It's not called Sin City for no reason, lol. He had a 9.84 Keaton Slovis. Too bad his arm is about trash. But anyways, Jason Bean. I'm trying to look for somebody that I actually really interested in. Hmm, no Raz on him. On small side. There's 6'2", 233, but only a 687 for a linebacker. That isn't great. I also know that there, Euro. There's a couple of defensive backs that scored in the eighth late in the draft. There's Marcellus Dial out of South Carolina, and the other one I think it was Millard Bradford, safety out of TCU. I will tell you somebody that fell, and that's Kingsley Edgecombe of Florida, the center. He's 6'3" and 304, but he fell mightily. He must have an injury thing. Frank Crum is probably one of the most athletic tackles not being talked about this draft, and he's back near 400. He's out of Wyoming. But there's a chance Chris Braswell will be there at 61. Who do you see? Who do you see being the player that developed the most this offseason that could have a standout season? I think it's going to be JMO. JMO flew down there to Miami and is staying with Hendon Hooker, Teddy Bridgewater, so that Hooker can work on his passing game down there. Because one thing you can say about Teddy Bridgewater, his mechanics were pretty stout in the pocket. That's why he always had a decent deep ball. So I think it's JMO. And at the same time, it's going to help Hendon Hooker, is it not? Wow, you talk about a big fall. This guy was considered a fourth round pick and is now back at in the late 200s. Jordan Whittington, the wide receiver out of Texas. Teddy Ballgame is what very well respected in the football community. Oh, he is. Here's another edge out of UConn, Eric Watts, that has a good rasp. Plus, what player would shock you the most if taken by Holmes at 29? Nothing would shock me anymore. Nothing will shock me at 29. While everyone else was shocked at Gibbs at 12, I was more shocked by Campbell at 18. Okay, JMO's not in Detroit. Goff lives in California. JMO's working out with Hendon Hooker and Teddy Bridgewater. They are staying down there to the rookie sophomore camp. Here's another flying under the radar guy, Ryan Flournoy out of southeastern Missouri State. 6 foot tall, 202, and has a 983 RAS. That's almost perfect. Another one sitting back at 223. I don't know anything about Javon Solomon. I'd have to look him up. I like Sundiata Anderson, but I see him as that sixth rounder. The problem is Goff's deep ball flies like a wounded duck after it goes over 25 yards. Go back and watch every pass he completed to JMO. None of them were zipped in there. He has to float the ball in. He has to throw it really hard. And with it, and as much as I hate to say it, his smaller hands is why it makes it there. The whole fan base is high on Kool-Aid. The key is, was it Brad doing the interviewing or John Dorsey? That's all I need to know. Because if John Dorsey wasn't in the room, I don't think Kool-Aid's the pick. But the Camryn Richardson, 6'2", 190, 9.8 RAS out of Mississippi State, cornerback. Keep an eye on him. He's somebody that could come up the boards a little bit. Right now, he's slated as a mid-sixth rounder. Here's another one that I like also in the draft. Nehemiah Pritchett out of Auburn, another good late round corner. At 200, if we don't take a guard early, there's a guard sitting right there. That offensive guard out of North Carolina State, 6'3", 299, and a 986 RAS. He's one of the most athletic interior O linemen. Brennan Jackson's another late round guy. Could be had in the fifth round. Yeah, but you know what? I trust Brad if he goes cornerback in the first. There's just something about at 29. I'd rather wait and get one of the mid round guys because the mid round guys lately have performed better than most of the first round guys. Mohammed Kamara, Colorado State. Do like him. He'd be a nice Sam linebacker for us. Has a great RAS score of 8.49. Yeah, he's talking about Mohammed Kamara out of Colorado State. He's slated to be like between 140 and 190. He could go anywhere from the fifth to possibly the sixth round. The only thing that would surprise me at 29 is going kicker. That's it. Yeah, it's Mohammed Kamara. Kamara, Brent. I'm looking at his name on the prospect list right now. See, and that's why I don't know what to predict. Do I think we'll draft a kicker? Probably not with re-signing the money badger, but I bet we grab one as a UDFA because we've done it every year, whether it's been Badger or Patterson on the roster, we've grabbed one. So I think there'll be one on the roster in the practice squad waiting. Yeah, Xavier Thomas, Clemson. Yeah, he did good. No, I think he's gonna. I think he's gonna trade back. I honestly don't see us trading up, especially if the cap hasn't cleared yet. You're hoping a trade up for Arnold? I don't want to trade up. Okay, we're getting into that point where we're at limited cap right now. We don't know what's going on with Cam Sutton or even if an exemption is going to be offered. So we have to assume that 12.3 stays on the books. That's what we have to assume until anything changes at this point. So I'm being real about it. So with 23.3 left and 8 million in contracts that hasn't came off the books yet, that leaves 15. You take away the 8.6 for the rookie picks by picking at 29, that leaves you with $7 million. You usually keep 4 or 5 million just to sign your injury players. Girl, yes, he will get cut, but you have to wait for him to be arrested, or it costs us another 5 million. That's what you're not understanding. Until he's arrested, you cannot cut him, even though there's an arrest warrant. Until it's proven and he's formally charged, arraigned, and held in custody, they can't cut him. Thank you, Felicity. So I'm just trying to tell you, you have to wait. Because if he's not arrested, then you have to ask the commissioner to give an exemption to the team. And can he do it? Yes. Will he do it? You don't know. And if everybody believes, how would eating 5 million be worth it? I don't understand that mentality. We're only going to have 7 million left after signing our rookies, at most, maybe 8. So you take away 5 million, you have 3 million for the rest of the season. It's not worth it. No, we're not getting 7 million. His dead cap is 5 million more than his salary. That's what I'm trying to tell you. You're not getting any money back. It costs the team $5 million in cap space. No, it doesn't matter if he doesn't show up for camp. What about Goff 50 million? Never got done. Lion King, I said it wasn't getting done. Why are you talking about 50 million when it isn't done? Yep, 12 million sitting there hostage until the exemption is rough. He is innocent until proven guilty, but running from the scene is what doesn't make it look good. And the fact that the cops want to question him and they can't find him. At this point, I've said no, and it looks like nothing is getting done. There has been no talks of an extension for Goff at this point. Guaranteed salaries, Ricky Sakat is the difference. His 10.5 is automatic. The roster bonus for showing up to camp, the $500,000 for showing up to camp, and that's all they get. It's 500,000. He won't get that. Paul Jones says 14 is his prediction. I still say 12 and 5. Orlando Hunter, nationwide manhunt underway. Here comes Dog, the big bad dog, the bounty hunter. Admit it, you sang it. Yeah, guarantees. I forgot about them. Goff is asking for 50 million plus. He will be gone. Hooray! I said, all off season and also all last season. Good morning, brother. It had nothing to do with Goff's ability to play or not to play. It had nothing to do with whatever his stats are as a quarterback. Look up Barrett Carter for Clemson. All right. Let me get back in there. Barrett Carter's not in the draft. He went back to school. I heard the same thing. I actually read a tweet from a reporter in the Dunedin area of Florida, and he actually said that after attempting to strangle her, he threw her out the third story window. Lions need to hire a hunter. Someone call the 18. And one funky Lions fan, I said the same thing. Goff is just Alex Smith with less mobility. Yes, you're right. It is easier to get worse at quarterback than it is to get better, except in one department, arm strength. Yep, Barrett Carter will be good next year. I've watched him. Right now, the best off ball linebacker in this draft to me is Jeremiah Trotter Jr. He would be probably available at 61. He won't be available at 73. Should we have trade for Fields with the third string running back? Patty Grimes, as many times as we've made fun of Justin Fields for how bad he reads defenses, You would want him on this roster? I don't want him anywhere near this roster. I don't want him anywhere near the division. I'm glad he went to Pittsburgh. Let's start a GoFundMe to go hire dog. Orlando with a +1 comment for funniness. In all serious, guys, I'm starting to think this guy isn't alive now at 14 days. It's getting RJ, I think he's either in hiding on a boat somewhere or he's left the country. You know what? If he had hands, I would believe it because I remember a trick play when they tried to throw to him and he dropped it in the end zone. For what Sutton did, we need to hire Billy the Exterminator. He's an animal. And Florida swamps are easy to disappear in. Get yourself an airboat. Not if he took a boat somewhere. He could be sitting on a one of those non-extradition islands in the Bahamas. Absolutely. Unless the alligators ate him. And that's another thing. We don't know what's going on until the authorities find something on him. I'm not going to assume anything. Yep. June 1st exemption point, more than likely for me. Yeah, that's where I'm at. But you're RJ Irving, the right Mooch wanted nothing to do with that kid, and yet they still drafted him. Somebody probably chucked him off a swamp boat. Yeah, but June 1st is the after draft cut. That's when the second free agency happens. I don't think they can apply till just before the June 1st cuts are made, so like end of May. It is what it is. And just remember, the conduct policy has very strict things that it has to do. We can't afford Stephen Gilmore right now, more than likely. Plus, he more than likely he didn't pass his physical, much like Reynolds didn't pass his physical with Buffalo yesterday. Paul Jones again. They can't do any suspensions, cuts, exemptions, anything till either. Yep, we're going to sign our rookie class first and see what the roster looks like. That's where we're at. But I think it's a real strange how ever since this news broke, Stephen Gilmore does an about face. No teams with more money than the Lions have right now aren't signing anybody major. We're seeing mid-tier moves. It's weird. Maybe maybe there's some truth to it because there is 3 weeks of free agency. We're only in the second week of free agency, technically. I hope we find out soon. I hope he's honestly okay and can be turned in and face justice. Either way, whether he's guilty or not. And who knows? Maybe we do find out he's innocent. But at this point, when you run and you disappear for this long, you're usually presumed guilty. Michigan brand new D-line coach Greg Scruggs resigned from his position effective immediately. Wow. Well, I'm going to go ahead and get into the sponsors because it's getting that time of day where I got to get ready for work. There's been no new news, so I don't want to. But I did get an award from YouTube. 25,000 views on my videos since I started 3 years ago. So for as many people who bash me and talk crap, guess what? Somebody likes me. I've got less than 400 subs and I've got 25,000 views. That says something. Yeah, going MIA does not scream innocent. RJ Evening, yeah, he's the one that had the DUI. Going at RJ, I'm going to say this: we thought he was going Jalen Carter last year or Devin Witherspoon. He did neither. He went offense first. They actually had Darius Robertson going in the third round, and now he's a mid second rounder. I don't, I don't think he's moving up much further than that. But let's talk about our favorite sponsor. It's FTP. Let's throw an FDB in there, and let's also throw an FSKOL because you know what? Fuck them all. They all were out of the playoffs before the Lions last year. There's a reason why they're all trying to get way better than they were. They hate us because they ain't us. Oh yeah, we should all go visit the Harbaugh garage sale. LOL and fuck the Packers. Oh, because all of them were sitting at home on the couch before us going, mmm, much butter. I sent you. Cry like bitch you should. Clinton Atherton Road, that's coming up. But first, we have our boy up in Saginaw, Gloss Negron, the best window tinner and auto detailer. In Saginaw, 99443-9240. Give them a call. Take care of your whip. Make it look dope and have it smelling and looking fresh too. Then, of course, Brandon's Tire Service, my place of employment. The reason why I get off here around noon every day is because I work at 2 p.m. 810-233-8230, 602 West Atherton Road. Come see us. We have great prices on used tires, and we will get you a great price on new tires too. Give us a call. Check us out. We're at the corner of South Grand Traverse and Atherton Road. I don't know, but lately I have seen where the Packers are starting to get a little better. The fans. But the ones that are becoming delusional is the Bears fans. Oh my God, they are. just insane that they automatically think it's going to get better because they're getting another rookie quarterback. Exactly, Orlando. That's why I'm wondering what exactly happened that made it change 2 weeks in. Something had some. We haven't heard anything about the girl, and we haven't seen any interviews with her since the incident. And all we know is that the when they put out that arrest warrant, it was dated starting March 7th. So he's been missing 14 days. I hope he's okay. I think the best thing they could do is trade back and take whoever's available with Minnesota and let Minnesota have Caleb Williams. I just I don't know why. I just think that's the smart thing to do because I trust Sam Darnold as much as I trust Justin Fields. It makes me think something health wise changed with this young woman or something. I'm not saying murder. I'm not saying she's dead, but something changed. I've been trying to find anything on it, and the fact that her name hasn't been released, they just keep saying the girlfriend. There was another Cam Sutton, but it wasn't our Cam Sutton on Twitter. He goes, "Man, I had to turn off my notifications." I say he's the most pro ready. I won't say the best QB in this draft, RJ. And I don't think it's JJ McCarthy because I'm not a homer either. Yeah, that's all I found. I there's Bears fans that said take anybody in the second or third round and roll with Badgett and let the other guy develop a few years so we don't make the same mistake and start a rookie right away. And I kind of agree with that. I don't know, Lion King. I've seen a picture of her. She looks like an adult, but 17 can look 30 in 40 minutes with makeup. Yeah, I've seen seen his throws, but you're also talking about he had Washington's O line against a very bad Pac-12 defensive conference. So you put him on Chicago's O line that struggles, he might not be as good. And if she's a minor, Cam definitely don't want to go to prison. Right. That's the thing. Oh, I heard it confirmed that his girlfriend was the one thrown out, not just a woman. Well, as always, guys, try every day to be a better person than you were the day before. It's the only way to make the world a better place. It starts in here. Much love to everybody in the chat. We had everybody in here today. At one point, we had 40 viewers. I only got 9 likes. Come on, smash that like button, people. Drop a leg drop on it. I don't care. Um, Penix is 35 years old. 25. Nice. People say the same thing about Hendon Hooker. I know. Was it Indiana or Illinois he went to before? I just know he threw some good passes when he was at Indiana too, behind a bad O line, which is half the reason why he is so hurt up. That guy's got a laundry list of injuries. Is why I see him as a second rounder. Fred, I'll try to be a better person today than yesterday, but I'll start tomorrow. Galladay, Galladay, Galladay. Oh, I love you guys. Thank you so much. And we'll see you tomorrow at 11 a.m. and then again at 9 p.m. because 9 p.m. is when I'm going to invite some other fans with Leonard and I, and we're going to talk some more Lions talk. Might get some other just fan opinions on the whole thing this week. But you guys have a great day. Spade and neuter your Bears fans. They don't need to reproduce.